7.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.FM.
The Brewers beat the A's. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Brewers beat the A's 14-1 to take the series 2-1. 23-year-old right-hander Logan Henderson, making his major league debut on the mound, gave up only 3 hits, 1 run. He struck out 9 over 6 innings.
I don't know if I can sum it up yet. I mean, I'm just super thankful, man. It's accumulation of a lot of hard work and a lot of people that have believed in me, and I just got to thank all my family, friends, and everybody who's helped me get to this position.
Brewers manager Pat Murphy.
Oh, he was great. You guys saw it, 6 innings, and that's the best I've ever seen him throw. I never have watched the success he's had, so it's great to see.
The Brewers on the road tonight in San Francisco. NBA, the Bucks reviewing what went wrong in that 117-98 loss to the Pacers Saturday. Game 2 of the series tomorrow night in Indianapolis. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
Your news, conversations, and a whole lot of fun. It's all on your local Civic Media radio station or the Civic Media app.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Increasing clouds tonight, some showers possible late, and lows in the mid-30s. For tomorrow, mostly cloudy, plenty of showers around, highs to the mid-50s. Another rain chance late Wednesday and Thursday. High temperatures climb to the upper 60s. Currently 49 degrees.
Amicus, a law review with Jim Santel.
Ross calling in.
Thanks for your show. I'm just wondering if we're watching or witnessing a legal system where what we thought was precedent is now going to be sort of cast away.
The reality is the question that you raise about the future and what are the implications when in fact the things we understood always to be bedrocks of our community, of our nation, are no longer that.
Amicus, a law review, Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. The Todd Albaugh Show.
More than 600 international students and recent grads have had their visas revoked. Here's people that are here 100% legally. We've seen the ICE checklist. Do you wear a Chicago Bulls hoodie? Do you have a tattoo? Check, gone. Again, this is about due process and following the Constitution. And if we don't have that, then none of us are safe.
The Todd Albaugh Show, moving soon to its new time. Weekdays 2 to 4 on Civic Media and on the app. Earl Ingram.
It's the final episode of the Earl Ingram Show. I want to thank everybody. I'll share on how to stay connected, and then Attorney Scott Harris will join me in the studio to share his inspiring story.
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay. This is Night Lite with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood.
Whatever gets you through the night, it's all right. It's all right.
And now, a guy who considers a silver medal a participation award, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome to Night Light, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Monday, everybody. Finally, Monday is here, and I get to be on the radio again. You know what it's like slumbering through a weekend? Slogging through a weekend, I should say. Waiting, counting the minutes so I can come back here and host Night Light. So great to have you with me. Hope you had a great weekend. It is still... Conrad, what is going on with the weather? I'm not holding you personally responsible, but this is like getting ridiculous. It's gloom and doom, dude.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Oh, it's the least you could do is, try to bring us some sunshine, buddy. What are we looking? The draft. It'd be nice if when people descend on Green Bay, as they've already started to do, we had some sunshine, right? Because Green Bay is going to be like front and center, Northeast Wisconsin, all over the country or the world. Whoever watches the draft, it'd be nice if we had some picturesque sunlight for the viewers. I think.
I think it would be Wisconsin if it just a random snowstorm came on Thursday.
Oh God, that would be so horrible.
that would suck.
You would regret taking time off if that were the case. You're like, I'd be like, I might as well work.
Yeah, I might as well just come into the studio that day.
Yeah. Although I won't be there. I'm going to Madison now.
Yeah.
Because you're off and we're kind of shuffling things around and it should be just fine. But hey, it is great to have you with me, folks, tonight on this Monday. Like I said, I hope you had a great weekend. We've got a great show tonight. as always, but even tonight, I think it's on a Monday. You want to start off with some cool stuff, and I think we have that tonight. Joining me tonight at 6:35 is the program director for the Milwaukee Film Festival, Kirsten Larson. We're going to give you kind of an overview of what you can expect if you head to Milwaukee, or if you're already there and you head to the film festival. They've got some really cool films playing this year. The one I think that caught my eye the most, I think, is called Secret Mall Apartment. And apparently, several young people in Rhode Island created this little apartment in a mall, like kind of back behind the scenes, and lived there for like 4 years. And nobody had any idea. And there's a documentary about this. And I can't wait to talk to Kirsten about that, as well as many other films. There's a cool kind of reunion screening, a 40-year anniversary screening, some great happy hours, they call them, in Milwaukee. I'm not as up on Milwaukee's film festival, even though I had a film that played there years ago. I haven't been there recently, so I'm really looking forward to hearing more about it and kind of having Kirsten sort of tell us what we can expect if we decide to check out these films, or just anything going on at the film festival. They have two beautiful venues as well, the Downer Theater and the Oriental Theater. If you have not seen the Oriental Theater, folks, it is worth a trip to Milwaukee alone. It is that majestic. It's just an absolutely beautiful theater. So Kirsten will be here at 6:35. We'll get the straight dope from the program director's mouth. And then our pal Tim Sowers is here tonight. The Overture Center in Madison just released their new schedule. And they've got some really amazing things coming into town. These great Broadway shows, many different series that they'll be promoting throughout the course of the year. More homegrown stuff, shows from Broadway. They've got my favorite that I read about was a Back to the Future musical live on stage. How cool does that sound, right?
That sounds awesome.
And I don't know if I read something that Tim talked about or what, but it was like, how do they make the car disappear on stage? So we'll ask Tim these questions. He has a pretty sweet gig. He gets to go around and watch Broadway musicals and figure out which ones he wants to bring to Madison. So we'll talk about that with Tim. He's one of our pals here. He's here fairly frequently, I would say. And it's always good to catch up with Tim. That's at 7:20. 7:20, right, Conrad?
Yes.
I booked him and I can't even remember. 7:20 or 7:35. I hope we have
7:20.
Okay. We always run out of time with Tim anyway, because he's good. He's a good talker. He's up on a lot of TV shows. He's got great taste in TV and movies. So we'll try to sneak some of that talk in with Tim as well. And I understand, Conrad, that both of us were in the wonderful city of Milwaukee over the weekend. I had no idea you were there. I assume you're not tracking my phone and you didn't know I was there.
No.
What were you doing there? Just sightseeing?
I went to a Milwaukee Brewer game.
All right.
Against not the Oakland anymore, just the Athletics. No City Forum yet.
What is the deal?
They're actually playing in Sacramento right now, I believe. So yeah, they're moving to Vegas, but the stadium's not up yet.
Okay. The Vegas A's. That doesn't sound as cool as the Oakland A's.
I just like that they have no city right now, so it's just the Athletics.
Yeah. Yeah, just they're a team without a city. It's really strange. Well, that was fun. Did you get a beer and a hot dog at the ball field?
Actually, I had 2 hot dogs.
2 hot dogs. How many beers?
I only had 2 because before we even knew it was already the 7th inning, and after 7th inning they stopped serving.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like Wisconsin at all.
It was under 2 hours, this game, and the fastest a game has ever gone for me at a Brewers stadium. And but yeah, it was. I mean, it was only 3-1 the final score. It wasn't too much going on, so the innings went fast.
Did they win?
No, they lost.
Oh, don't you hate that? I mean, I used to hate now I'm a little more mellow, but when I would pay money to see a professional baseball game and I would actually go to the stadium, it seemed like every time I went, like in a 5-year span, they lost. It sucks. It's like, why did I do this? You know what I mean?
I always think, I think the last 4 or 5 games I've gone to, they lost.
Yeah.
So I think I have bad luck.
Every time you go, though, when you're on that kind of streak, they're due for a win. So you bring yourself that much closer. So keep spending your money, I guess.
It was cool, though. They had one of their giveaways, and I got a Brewers football jersey.
Oh, nice. A Brewers
Yep.
football jersey. Okay.
It was it's pretty cool.
That is kind of cool.
The whole stadium was wearing them because they gave it to 25,000 people.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I was in Milwaukee too. We went Saturday morning, and my son is involved with comedy sports, and he had this special showcase on Saturday night. So we went. It was the first time I got to see him do comedy sports, which was fun. What a great atmosphere that is too, folks. If you live in the Milwaukee area, or even if you don't, if you're up for a road trip, it's just a great atmosphere. They have this great little campus just south of the 3rd Ward, might technically be in the 3rd Ward, but they have this big main stage, which is beautiful. Then they've got all these pictures and a bar area outside with some of their legendary performers. And then they have a secondary stage where this showcase was, and that was packed. And it was just such a great, it was so like to go out on a Saturday night and just get away from your regular routine for some comedy. It was an absolute blast. So tip of my hat to my son and to Comedy Sports, because they just provide such a great, they've been around like 40 years now, and they do such an amazing job. And it's just they're an absolute treasure for Milwaukee to have, and in other various parts of the state as well. But I believe they started in Milwaukee, and Mike Houth, who has been on this show before, and I had a chance to catch up a little bit. It was the first time I met Mike in person, and it was really fun to talk to him and find out even more about Comedy Sports. So highly recommend that if you get the chance. We've got, hey, did I tell you? I don't think I told you this, Conrad. We were going to the zoo on Easter Sunday. Did you notice? Was it like this in Green Bay? Everything was closed yesterday.
No, I didn't. I only went to Quick Trip yesterday, so I didn't really check anything.
They were open. I went to a
Yes.
Quick Trip too. But I don't remember. I know it's a holiday, but I don't remember literally like the mall, the Mayfair Mall was closed.
Oh, wow.
And there were Starbucks that were closed. I don't remember everything shutting down on Easter Sunday like that. Grocery stores, I'm like, I don't know. It was very strange. But we were on our way to the zoo on 94 West. And this is why, we get lulled into sleep when we drive. I think it's just, you take it for granted. It's second nature, whatever. My daughter and I were in one car, my son and my wife in the other. We were driving, and I hear these brakes squeal up in front of us. Lucky there was enough room. I probably had 2 or 3 seconds between me and the other car. I slammed on the brakes. Some moron. Usually when you exit on the right. This guy was all the way in the right, and it was around American Family Field, right? I get the Brewer baseball stadiums mixed up. Pfizer Family Field. And so this guy cuts all the way over like 3 lanes to make his exit on the left. Almost killed, like 4 or 5 cars hit the brakes. I cannot believe there was not a major pileup because this moron couldn't go up one more exit and turn around. No. I'm going to jeopardize everybody's life on 94 West. I swear I would have,
That's the Milwaukee drivers, I swear, every time.
Is it more? Do they have that reputation? I didn't know that.
Yeah, so my friend who was driving us to the game, he took a wrong turn and we went down Silver Spring, and there was someone going 60 in 35.
Oh wow!
And just weaving, in and out of traffic, and and my friend goes, "Watch, he's gonna run this red light." He sees no one coming, keeps going.
Sure enough,
he did.
I'll tell you what, though, I don't drive in Milwaukee that often, but I have noticed in Northeast Wisconsin drivers driving much faster in the last, I would say, 3 or 4 years.
Yeah,
insane driving, speeding like crazy. Hey, we got a lot to get to tonight. We got 2 great guests, and I'm trying to remember what made me think of this question, but let's get to our question of the night.
Let's talk about the question.
Okay, question.
Question. Question.
Pregunta.
Question.
Question.
Okay, I have a question. Questions? This question.
Domanda. Question.
Questions.
What is your favorite serial killer movie? Yes, a whimsical Monday night question of the night here on Nightlight. What is your favorite serial killer movie? There's so many of them. I don't think we've ever had a question like this before. I'll go first. Manhunter. Starring William Peterson, Dennis Farina, Brian Cox from Succession, who plays Hannibal Lecter.
And the killer in the film is called the Tooth Fairy. He's like this big hulking 6'7" guy. So who is your favorite? What is your favorite serial killer movie, folks? 855-752-4842. Text us on the app. Text us on the stream if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, or where else, Conrad? Where else can
Twix?
Twix, of course. How could I forget our little XX? What is your favorite serial killer movie? That is tonight's question of the night. Mine is Manhunter. Phenomenal film. And Brian Cox plays an even better Hannibal Lecter, in my opinion, than Anthony Hopkins did. We'll find out Conrad's pick when we come back after the break and read your texts. It's Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network. Hey, babe.
You're listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home of Mino and the Mayor. Hey, it's John Mino.
And Jim Schmidt from Mino and the Mayor.
Want to stay in the loop with all things Northeast Wisconsin? Sign up for the WGBW weekly newsletter.
Get the latest local stories, updates on the weather, and a special feature from our Mino and the Mayor podcast.
It's your one-stop shop for real news and great conversation in Northeast Wisconsin.
Log on to WGBW.FM today and get signed up.
Real news, great conversation. Sign up today at WGBW.FM/newsletter.
No more mold, no more damage, no more slipping and hurting. Make your ordinary bathroom extraordinary for only $99 per month. New shower, new door, new tub, new wall, new anti-slip technology. BCI Bath and Shower is made in America for the highest quality. First 50 callers save $1,500 on a never clear glass treated door. BCI Bath and Shower. Interest-free financing options. 800-329-4115. 800-329-4115. 800-329-4115.
Hey, it's Amanda with another new Wisco 411 for you, brought to you by Area 509 in Appleton. And if you happen to be a caregiver in the Outagamie County, this event is for you. Because on Wednesday, April 30th, from 3:30 till 6 p.m., you can join other caregivers for the Outagamie Caregiver Appreciation Event. Connect with others as you relax, enjoy dinner, speakers, and learn about local supportive resources. Plus, there's a load of prizes to be won. Head to WGBW.FM and click events to find out more.
Skilled trade workers are the backbone of every community, and also the Army National Guard. Soldiers trained to keep the power flowing, engines running, and in every other trade needed to accomplish the mission. These soldiers are on the fast track to learning skills that can set them up for success at home with companies looking to hire the best. Their resumes are being built through their paid training and part-time service. Find out how you too can learn a trade profession by visiting NationalGuard.com.
He's the greatest, that's all.
One night in a disco on the outskirts of Frisco, I was cruising with my favorite gang. The place was so boring.
Welcome back to Nite Lite. I am Pete Schwaba, your unmuted host, bringing you hopefully some lovely entertainment after a long, gloomy Monday, whatever you did today, whether it was work or whatever. It is great to have you here. Let's talk movies and TV and live Broadway shows and the Milwaukee Film Festival. That is all happening here tonight. So welcome to Nite Lite. And our question of the night is, what is your favorite serial killer movie? You can let us know at 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC, or text us on the app or the stream. We will get Conrad's pick in just a minute. First, I want to tell you about a really cool thing happening here at Civic Media. We have a new lineup starting on Wednesday. The new lineup all starts at 5 a.m., 5 to 6 a.m. We have the Midwest Farm Report with Pam Yonke on select stations. From 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., it's Mornings with Pat Kreitlow. Did you and Pat ever patch things up, Conrad?
I don't think we had a falling out.
I just like to start stuff, don't I? Pat's a great guy. Conrad's a great guy. They've never had issues. Pat will be on from 6 to 9 a.m. You can hear yours truly on his show from time to time, too, talking a little bit about entertainment. That is powered by Up North News. Pat will be on. However, if you're in Madison or Green Bay, rest assured, Mino and the Mayor will still be on from 6 to 9 in Green Bay. And John and Gordy will still be on in the same time slot on WMDX in Madison. So with the exception of those two markets, you can hear Pat on the network every morning from 6 to 9. And your favorite local hosts in Green Bay and Madison, nothing will change there. From 9 to 11 a.m., Matt Nair on Air with Jane Matt Nair and Greg Bach will bring the informative news, the funny. They do all kinds of great stuff on that show. That's from 9 to 11. From 11 to 2, Tom Hartman returns to Civic Media during the day. 3 hours of Tom, right smack dab in the middle of the day. You can't go wrong with Tom Hartman. He's great. From 2 to 4 p.m., we've got the Todd Alba Show. He's scooting up a couple hours. Todd is, I would say between Matt Nair on Air and Todd, they both have these great formats where, like, they talk about news stories that affect you. But, like, Todd is great to have a laugh with, too.
Oh, yeah.
Just like Jane and Greg. And Zommers produces his show. It's all fun stuff, folks, and just very easy to listen to. Then at 4 to 6, the Maggie Dawn Show. Maggie replaces Dom in Dom's old slot. Dom has moved on to other things. It was a very amicable parting, and I miss Dom already, but I'm glad he is moving on to new adventures. But Maggie will be on from 4 to 6, leading you into Nightlight every night. Our time slot has not changed. We stay at 6 to 8 p.m. every night. And we will do our best with this new lineup to keep you informed, fans of Civic Media. So what is your favorite serial killer movie, Conrad? Do you have one?
I'd say Scream.
Is that a scary movie?
No, it's not really scary, but
yeah.
I mean, there's some moments that are jump scares, but like other than that, I think there's a reason it's been made fun of so many times.
I got to be honest. I didn't even know that was a serial. It's been so long since I've seen that. I didn't even realize it was a serial killer movie, but I guess it is.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's good. Mine, like I said before the break, is Manhunter, starring William Peterson, Willem Dafoe, Brian Cox as Hannibal Lecter. So creepy. And the way Will Graham figures out the crime is so brilliant, too. It's got Michael Mann was the director. It's got that sleek, modern Michael Mann look. Even in the 80s. Like, it was way ahead of its time in terms of the aesthetics of the film. Really good watch. I've seen it probably 10 times. And William Peterson is great in the film as Will Graham. Definitely worth a look-see. But let us know what your favorite serial killer movie is. It's fun to talk about serial killer movies. Did you see that Anakin, Hayden Christensen is coming back to the Star Wars franchise? Con?
I didn't. No, but coming out in your beats tomorrow. You have a little story on it, and I think that's awesome.
He's kind of a polarizing figure. I have to say, it seems like some people love him and some people just don't buy him as Anakin. Where do you stand on that? You're a Star Wars guy.
Love Hayden Christensen.
Do you? Okay, cool.
I think he's great as Anakin. Yeah. And I mean, just the way he has to turn in episode 3, I think he does a great job.
I'm with you. I didn't have a problem with his performance when I first saw him in, I think it was Attack of the Clones. But I think Star Wars fans are excited to hear that, by and large. So it's also National Is it Chocolate Covered Cashew Day or just Cashew Day? Chocolate covered, right?
Yeah, chocolate covered.
I don't know why chocolate covered cashews have been out of my life for almost 10 years, but I am literally in flavor country just thinking about chocolate covered cashews right now. They are so good.
You know what's better than that?
Nothing.
Ballpark cinnamon cashews. Heated up.
Oh, I've had cinnamon cashews. Those are very good.
They do the pecans too and the almonds.
Okay.
And it was tempting, but I'm trying to not to eat a lot of sugar.
Yeah, same.
I was like, I want it so bad, but I was like, all right.
I don't know what it is. It's like something about the consistency of the cashew. It's like not really crunchy like other nuts. You just kind of, oh God, it's good stuff. I got to stop talking about chocolate.
You know what other day it is?
Kindergarten day.
It's Keep Off the Grass Day. And I had to look into this because yesterday was 420. So I was like, so is this like
no, I didn't even catch that. That's great.
It's not a metaphor. It's just actually keep off the grass.
Yeah. it pertains to lawns.
Yeah.
And not weed. Okay. Keep off the grass while you're smoking grass. At least here in Wisconsin. So we've got, all right, our question of the night is, what is your favorite serial killer movie? Steve from Florida says, favorite serial killer movie is Conrad's great uncle's Freddy Krueger, iconic movie, Nightmare on Elm Street. So your dad is saying he has the same favorite as your uncle.
No, he's saying he's saying my uncle or my great uncle is Freddy Krueger. So in this case, it'd be Freddy Krueger.
Freddy Krueger. Yes. That's borderline child abuse if your dad was telling you Freddy Krueger is your uncle. Monica from Mount Horeb says, since you said Manhunter, I'll add Monster with Charlize Theron playing Aileen Wuornos. And I won tickets to the Milwaukee Film Fest on Civic Media. Yes. So I'm going to see some shorts at the Oriental. Awesome, Monica. Well done. And a great choice. I forgot about Monster. That's a great one. Chris Casper checking in. Part of the Civic Media team. He's in the 608. He says, Silence of the Lambs, hands down. Chris, check out Manhunter. Would love to discuss these with you, buddy. So much fun tonight. Great to have you here with me. Kirsten Larson from the Milwaukee Film Festival is coming up next on Nightlight with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
We're listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home for the Todd Allball Show.
You can always continue the conversation on social media. Share your thoughts when you find and follow Civic Media on Facebook, X, and Instagram.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. The Republican Party of Wisconsin introduced a new process for replacing local party officials last week. The new rules were approved by the state Republican Party's executive committee in an attempt to cut down on what they call egregious behavior and infighting between state party leadership and local officials and organizers. Here in the 8th Congressional District, there have been reports of infighting and shouting matches. The new code of conduct requires local, regional, and state party members to treat other party officials with respect, support candidates endorsed by the party, and prohibits harassment of other party members. We have a couple of stories from the new zoo in Swamico today. First is the arrival of Anga. She's the new African lioness that arrived Friday from Knoxville, Tennessee. The zoo says Anga will be paired with their male lion, Lloyd, in the hopes that they will breed. But right now, they're getting to know each other safely through a fence. Also from the new zoo, we hear they are still trying to locate Louie, one of the naughty, nimble North American river otters who escaped from their enclosure during a snowstorm in March. Ophelia has returned to the zoo, but Louie still remains on the land. Zoo officials say they have cameras set up in hopes of spotting Louie and bringing him back. If he doesn't return home to the zoo, officials say they may take steps to find Ophelia another male friend from a different zoo. The good news is that Louie was born in the wild, so he should have the instincts and skills to survive on his own. The new community shelter in Green Bay hosted 2 free Easter meals yesterday for people without a home or without a family or who just wanted to share a meal with friendly people. They hosted a midday and supper meal serving about 250 people total on Sunday. I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.FM.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. Since we haven't heard Glenn Powell news in about 4 seconds, here is an update. The highly in-demand actor will co-write and star in a new comedy about a country western music star. Powell is partnering with Judd Apatow, with whom he will share writing credit for the script. Apatow, whose credits include The 40-Year-Old Virgin and Knocked Up, will direct. Powell's most recent credits were Hitman and the blockbusters Twisters and Top Gun 2. A legacy drummer is out of a job. The Who has decided to part ways with Zach Starkey after almost 30 years following a performance at the Royal Albert Hall in London. Starkey is the son of Beatles drummer Ringo Starr and the godson of original Who drummer, the late Keith Moon. Starkey apparently got into it on stage with lead singer Roger Daltrey. For more showbiz fun, tune into Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Enjoying this local program? Find the complete Civic Media lineup at civicmedia.us or the Civic Media app.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Increasing clouds tonight, some showers possible late, and lows in the mid-30s. For tomorrow, mostly cloudy, plenty of showers around. Highs to the mid 50s. Another rain chance late Wednesday and Thursday. High temperatures climb to the upper 60s. Currently 49 degrees.
Reviewing the week's legal news with a friend of the court.
Well, I'm looking forward to Saturday morning. I haven't missed one. Outstanding, just like being in school.
It has been a week in the areas of law and government and the aspiration for justice in America. As always, I am delighted. I am honored that you have chosen to spend some of your weekend time with me in discussion.
Amicus, a law review with Jim Santel. Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. The Todd Albaugh Show.
More than 600 international students and recent grads have had their visas revoked. Here's people that are here 100% legally. We've seen the ICE checklist. Do you wear a Chicago Bulls hoodie? Do you have a tattoo? Check, gone. Again, this is about due process and following the Constitution. And if we don't have that, then none of us are safe.
The Todd Albaugh Show, moving soon to its new time. Weekdays 2 to 4 on Civic Media and on the app. Maggie Dawn.
What does Justice Alito have in common with the Wisconsin Supreme Court liberal bloc? We discuss at the top of the show next.
The Maggie Dawn.
Welcome back. Great to have you with me tonight here at Night Light, folks. On a Monday edition, I am Pete Schwaba. We are hoping to make your day, bring a little sunshine to what's been a very gloomy, actually, few days here in Northeast Wisconsin and all over Wisconsin, really. I think it's been kind of crummy. Our question of the night, ladies and gentlemen, is what is your favorite serial killer movie? And I don't mean like post Raisin Bran. I know we all like to kill a bowl of cereal once in a while, but who is your favorite? What is your favorite serial killer movie? Daniel Wheeler gave us a social media text that said, I Feel Fantastic by John Bergeron, creator of Terra the Android. He says it's a bit of a stretch for inclusion, but look up the video and its accompanying conspiracy theory. It may have been debunked, but its unsettling nature is very real. I will do that, Daniel. Thank you. I have not heard of that. And then Matt Harper, our buddy, rock rap artist from here in Northeast Wisconsin, says American Psycho. You know, I've never seen American Psycho. Have you seen it, Con?
Yeah, I've seen it. All right, so I've seen it 3 times, but I've also seen the Family Guy version of it, and I gotta say, the Family Guy version is hilarious. So you need to watch that.
Quagmire, like the guy, or what?
No, Peter is.
Oh, Peter, of course. That's so great. For those of you that didn't know, folks, if you follow us on Facebook or on X or Instagram or where else are we, Con? We're everywhere, right?
We're everywhere, yeah.
Working
Facebook.
on Blue Sky. But give us a like or a follow, and you'll see the question there. You can post your answer earlier in the day, and we'll read it on the show as well. If you don't have an opportunity to listen at night, you can still get to be a part of the show. And if you're there and you want to give us a like or a follow on Facebook or Twix, that's Twitter X, or on YouTube, whatever, it is much appreciated. PJ says Natural Born Killers is my favorite. PJ is watching on the stream, and yeah, that's a good one. Woody Harrelson is in everything. I just saw him again last night. What was I watching? But that's a great one. Thank you, PJ. Craig Knitt says Anton Chigurh in No Country for Old Men was mesmerizing and horrifying. Boy, that's very interesting you say that, Craig, because I don't think of that as a serial killer movie, but he is a serial killer, and that is one of my favorite movies of all time. Definitely my top 3 Coen brother films. So that's a phenomenal text as well. Keep those texts coming, folks. What is your favorite serial killer movie? Right now, we are going to turn our attention to our first guest. She joins us on the phone. She's the program director for the Milwaukee Film Festival, which is right around the corner. Her name is Kirsten Larson, and it is my pleasure to welcome her for the first time to Nightlight. Hey, Kirsten.
Hi, Pete. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. How are you doing? You're in the home stretch, probably. Are things coming together?
Yep, they are coming together. It's sort of getting to the point where we just have to hit the ground running and black out for 2 weeks, and then it'll all be over.
There you go. Do you have before we jump into the nuts and bolts of the Milwaukee Film Festival, which is a phenomenal festival, What do you have a favorite serial killer movie, Kirsten?
Okay, I was just scrambling to think of this because I was like, I know this question is coming my way. And I feel like I have to say Psycho because I love Alfred
Oh.
Hitchcock so much.
Nice. That's a great choice and a classic. What are your other favorite Hitchcock films?
I really love some of his lesser known ones, like Shadow of a Doubt is a really good one. And it's one of his favorite that he made, which is kind of interesting
right?
because it's a bit less dramatic than the rest of his movies, where it's more like residentially focused.
Yeah.
And then there's another one called Lifeboat that I really love, where it all takes place on a lifeboat after a boat has sank, and then it's just the drama coming up from all the people having to sit there together. And so I guess maybe I like some of his more intimate films.
I love that. And I haven't seen either one of those. So you just gave me 2 films to watch. So thank you for that. And
There you go.
I would have to say my favorite is probably Rear Window. Just a film I've seen probably 20 times, and I'll probably see it another 20 times. Like, I just love every frame of that film, the acting, the writing. It's just such a great, and the setting. It's just so great. So there you go. We've bonded here, Kirsten. This means we're getting along, and this is the start of a beautiful friendship. So I hope this means you'll be on Nightlight quite a bit. But let's jump into before we get to your lineup in the festival. How did you end up at the Milwaukee Film Festival? Are you a Milwaukee native?
I'm not. I'm from the Chicagoland area originally, and I was interested in working for film festivals when I was in college. So I had volunteered and interned at a few, and then I graduated and was looking for jobs and saw that the Milwaukee Film Festival was coming up. So I got my first paying film festival job here. And then I worked at a few other ones around the country in seasonal roles, but I was just like, the Milwaukee Film Festival was the best, even compared to like Sundance or Tribeca. I just loved the Midwest sensibility here so much. And so it brought me back, and I've been here ever since.
That is outstanding. And I agree. Like, I haven't been there for a few years, but I went to see a friend's film there a few years ago. Like, I think I mentioned in the email, I had a film that played there years ago. I love how, first of all, I love the venues. I mean, the Oriental Theater is like one of the most beautiful movie theaters I've ever set foot in. And I love the films you guys choose. And that includes this year's lineup. Like, I've read a lot about what you guys have on tap, but do you want to give us a quick overview of this year's festival in a few words, and then I'll ask you about specific movies?
Yeah, definitely. So it's a 15-day festival, April 24th to May 8th. And we will be at the Oriental Theater and the Downer Theater, which are both on the east side of Milwaukee. And yeah, we have tons and tons of films. We always say they're for ages 3 to 103. So something for everybody. We have international fiction, American fiction, horror movies, documentaries, short films, which I love to recommend to people because you don't get to see a lot of short film programs very often in the movie theater, and they're so fun and original. And then we have children's programming, which is adorable, especially if kids don't get to like actually go to the movie theater very often, much less one like the Oriental Theater. Those screenings even make me feel happy and inspired because you can just see how much fun all of the families are having there. And yeah, like I said, there's going to be something for everyone. It's an amazing lineup this year. I think, yeah, we have over 200 film programs that you could attend. So you can't go to all of them, but you can certainly try.
No, but there is something to be said about, like, I love when I'm at a film festival and I see like 3 or 4 movies in a day. And it's amazing how that it's amazing how you need stamina to watch movies because you're just sitting there, but mentally it's draining, but it's so exhilarating. And that's the great thing about film festivals. Like, a lot of times I haven't had to buy a pass, but I'm amazed that I see people that buy like a festival pass and they keep track of all the movies they watch, and all they do for a week, or in your case, 2 weeks, is go to movies. It's a beautiful thing.
Yes, we have a really die-hard audience, and I think our audience is another reason why I wanted to come back to Milwaukee and keep working at the festival here, because people just have so much fun with it. And you know, I'm a movie nerd, so it's not surprising that I might watch like 3 or 4 movies in a day. But the difference between doing that at home and doing that at a movie theater with other people is just could not be more stark. And so I think that's how people are able to sort of survive by watching that
Totally
much is
agree.
like you can talk to people, you can walk from one theater to the other, you can go out to eat. Although I probably could survive on popcorn for an entire day.
Let's talk about your venues. I mentioned, or you mentioned, the Downer and the Oriental. Has it been a challenge? As I understand it, those are the only 2 venues you guys are using this year, and is that a first for that? And how do you manage with just 2 theaters? There must be multiple screens at both places.
Yeah. We have 3 screens at the Oriental and 2 screens at the Downer. And I think, I mean, I don't know about before my time, but I think this is one of the first years we've only had 2 like building locations that we've used. But back in 2023, I believe we only had 5 screens because we were at the Oriental, which is 3. We
Oh,
were at the Times, which is 1 screen, and then the Avalon, which is 1 screen. So, you know, post pandemic, we're figuring everything out and trying on different spaces. But yeah, I think it's going to be so much fun for people to be able to spend time on the east side and bopping between the Downer and the Oriental, especially because, like I was saying, when people get their passes to go to this festival and they can see whatever films they want, people will make like spreadsheets planning their schedule, and they'll have to like plan travel time in between like one theater to the
oh
next.
my gosh.
And I'm like, you guys could just walk for like 20 minutes between the Oriental and the Downer, and it won't be so like intense drag racing across the city.
Listen, movie nerds are my favorite kind of nerds. So let them do whatever they want as long as they keep going to the movies, right? Um,
Mhm.
my guest is Kirsten Larson. She's the program director at the Milwaukee Film Festival, which takes place April 24th through May 8th. Okay, let's jump into some films. Kirsten, you have a kind of a big event. You have a director coming in for Q&A for the Desperately Seeking Susan 40th anniversary screening at the Milwaukee Film Festival. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, definitely. So we are showing Desperately Seeking Susan, and Susan Seidelman will be attending. She is going to do a book signing before the screening. Then we'll all watch it together, and then she'll do a Q&A after the film. And yeah, we were just so excited that that worked out, especially because it's an anniversary year for the film. But then, yeah, we've been really excited because we have our new executive director, Susan Kearns. So she has gotten to know Susan Seidelman, and so it will be 2 Susans doing their Q&A. So it'll be just like the movie where everyone's confused.
Everyone's trying to
But
seek
yeah, I
Susan,
think
yeah.
that will be a fantastic event, and we're really excited about it.
And she's a pretty accomplished director too. I love that she's got the book out. And to me, Kirsten, I'm sure you'd agree, the Q&As are really what make film festivals it's a different kind of movie viewing when you get those insights from the actual filmmakers.
Yeah, definitely. And another thing I really love about our Q&As is how it really brings our filmmaker guests and our audiences together, because definitely our audience is excited to see when filmmakers come into town and can share more details about their filmmaking process. But
Right.
every single year without fail, the filmmakers, when they come to Milwaukee, are like, oh my gosh, like I've never been to the Midwest, or I've never been to
Oh,
Wisconsin.
wow.
And I absolutely love it here. And like your audience is so enthusiastic and wonderful. And I definitely want to come back in future years. So that routinely happens to us and makes me very happy.
That's great. Here's one of my favorite things that jumped out at me at your guide was Secret Mall Apartment. I think this is so cool.
Mhm.
Can you tell us about Secret Mall Apartment, this nice documentary?
Yes, absolutely. So that one is about a group of people who decide to hide out and live in a mall And they go for a very long time undetected. And so you just sort of get to see behind the scenes and how they pulled that off. And all the hijinks that entails. And yeah, that one has been a pretty big hit and getting popular because it was produced by Jesse Eisenberg, who obviously is having a good year with his movie A Real Pain coming out. And so yeah, that one, we showed it as one of our member screenings as a festival preview, and everyone absolutely loved it. So we're excited for the general audience to get to see it too. And it's just the kind of documentary stories I really love, because they can have all sorts. They can be like biography documentaries, they could be political documentaries, and I just love a quirky, weird story documentary that's just like something you would never hear about on your own.
My guest is Kirsten Larson. We'll have some more time with Kirsten after this very short break, and I'm going to ask her about a famous comedians documentary that's coming up next on Nightlight with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Someone's looking for love.
From De Pere to Swamico, 97.9 WGBW.
Appleton Cigar Company on College Avenue has been serving the community for over 25 years. If you are a cigar aficionado looking for a one-of-a-kind experience, you need to check out Appleton Cigar, which boasts the largest selection of cigars north of Milwaukee with over 706 cigars to choose from in a walk-in humidor. The Cigar Lounge offers an impressive variety of spirits and cocktails that pair perfectly with a premium cigar. For the full experience, come to Appleton Cigar at 415 College Ave, Monday through Saturday, 11:30 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. For more information, go to appletoncigar.com.
You're listening to the American Democracy Minute, keeping your government by and for the people. In one of his most bone-chilling orders to date, President Donald Trump directed the U.S. Department of Justice and other agencies to open an investigation of Christopher Krebs, the former head of the Cybersecurity Infrastructure and Security Agency. Krebs' alleged crime? Publicly refuting Trump's unfounded claims of widespread fraud in the 2020 election. Trump's April 9th memorandum reads in part, Krebs, through CISA, falsely and baselessly denied that the 2020 election was rigged and stolen, including by inappropriately and categorically dismissing widespread election malfeasance and serious vulnerabilities with voting machines, unquote. On November 12, 2020, Krebs had posted a joint statement from the Elections Infrastructure Government Coordinating Council and the Election Infrastructure Sector Coordinating Executive Committees, which said the November 3rd election was the most secure in American history, and there was no evidence that any voting system deleted or lost votes, changed votes, or was in any way compromised. The two groups represent CISA, Secretaries of State, state election directors, and numerous election, technology, and cybersecurity organizations. In addition to ordering the investigation, Trump stripped Krebs' security clearance and that of SentinelOne, the cybersecurity company where Krebs worked until his resignation.
Welcome back to Nightlight. This is Pete Schwaba, hoping to keep you entertained on this gloomy Monday. Tyler from Wisconsin Rapids, he's in the 608. He says, Charlize Theron's reluctant monster. She only wanted to be loved. Great text, Tyler. Thank you. Luann in Green Bay says 7. Oh, I forgot about 7 too. That's kind of how the last few days have felt here in Wisconsin, I thought, like with that 7 aesthetic where it was just rainy and gloomy. That's what it's been like here. Great one, Luann. Thank you. Jim from Appleton says, Conversations with a Killer, Ted Bundy tapes, real life, real mind bending. That was on my list for a while, and I just kind of forgot about it. So I have not seen that, Jim. But great text. Keep them coming. What is your favorite serial killer movie? Kind of a whimsical question tonight, folks. My guest right now is Kirsten Larson. She's the program director for the Milwaukee Film Festival, which starts April 24th and runs through May 8th. They have a spectacular docket of films Great venues, great events. It's highly worth checking out. Go to milwaukeefilm.org and learn more. Kirsten, tell me a little bit about my background is stand-up comedy, and I remember crossing paths with Gallagher back in the day, briefly. I didn't know him, but there's a documentary about him. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so that is a very fascinating documentary and sort of in that biographical documentary category that I was talking about earlier. And so, yeah, you really just get to get into the nitty gritty of the background of someone's life. And so, yeah, that documentary is sort of delving into Gallagher's life, where you probably just know of him smashing watermelons, but you don't really know how he got to where he was in comedy and then what happened to him after you were more familiar with him. And yeah, that specifically talks about a lot of things about where he was sort of pigeonholed and characterized as, you know, just the guy with the big hammer smashing watermelons, but how he was very influential and important as a comedian. And so sort of trying to give him his due, but then also demonstrating how he had a difficult time with not getting that recognition and how it kind of made him sad later in his life.
And that's the part of the documentary when I was reading in the guide that caught my attention. Like, I didn't know that, you know what I mean? Like you just said, you remember him smashing watermelons and saying, you know, if you're in the front row, you might get wet. But I had no idea. So that's another good one. Tell us about AJ Goes to the Dog Park. We've got the filmmakers on this show this week, which I think will be fun. They're going to talk to us a little bit about the film, but that looks like a fun little comedy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So that's another one that has great Midwest sensibilities because it is all set in the Dakotas. And so that was cool. Little tie-in. We loved that. But it is a very quirky story about a guy who just has to go on a mission to find a place for his dog to have fun. And obviously crazy things end up happening in the interim. And one of my favorite things about it is that the team who creates the film had a cartoon that was on Cartoon Network. And this film is live action, but it has so many funny visual gags in it that you can really tell the origin of their, I don't know, artistry is in sort of the animated world. And so I just thought it was so original with how it came together and just its visual storytelling style.
So it's important too with film festivals, I think, to have that big opening night film. You guys are playing a film called Sally. Are there still tickets available for opening night? And tell us about that film, if you would, please.
Yes, there are still tickets available. And yeah, highly recommend you go to that one because it's in the big house at the Oriental. So there's 1,000 seats. And so when that place gets full, there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that documentary is about Sally Ride, the astronaut. And once again, it's telling you the unknown story of Sally Ride, where you've seen the big news stories and have her in the history books, but you don't really know about her personal life and how she got to where she was. But a thing that's especially exciting about that film is that the director, Christina Costantini, is from Milwaukee originally. And so that'll be a fantastic homecoming for her. We know her parents are really excited for the Q&A.
Nice.
And so, yeah, just having people come out to support her and celebrate the artists who are able to come out of our city is always amazing.
I'd love to keep you through the news. If you can give us just a few more minutes, would that be okay, Kirsten?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I want to ask you too, we've got about a minute before we have to go to a break. What sets Milwaukee Film Festival apart from others in the state or out of the state, would you say?
What distinguishes it from other festivals?
What makes you guys unique?
Well, I know I've been harping on it, but I really think it is the community and the actual city of Milwaukee that makes it so unique because we couldn't have the festival without our audience, and having people who want to take a chance on these films they've never heard of and learn something new about the world around them is just something you can't replace. And so I would say the people of Milwaukee is what makes it unique.
That is a great answer. And right when I was asking you that, to me, I was thinking, for me, it's the East Side, because that is one of my favorite neighborhoods in the whole world. And the fact that you have this film festival more or less set there, I just think is so unique and cool. My guest is Kirsten Larson. She's agreed to stick with us for a few minutes through the news. I have a few more questions for Kirsten, including about two big events called their happy hours that they do at the Milwaukee Film Festival. We'll talk about that. And then I'm going to ask her what she's binge watching on TV before we let her go. It's Pete Schwaba and Night Lite. Tim Sowers coming up at 7:20, folks, to talk about the new Overture Center lineup. We'll be right back on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Whenever I get this way, I just don't know what to say. Why can't we be ourselves like we were yesterday?
The Talk of Green Bay, WGBW. John Mino and Jim Schmidt.
On Tuesday's show, we'll welcome Wayne Sargent, the ultimate Packer fan, who will join us to tell us about a special event coming up with the draft.
And we check in with Maddie Trollier from the Stadium View. We'll find out what they have in store for this week. Join us.
Matt Nair on air.
Deb Cronmiller from the League of Women Voters talking about the SAVE Act.
The kind of voter fraud that this SAVE Act is targeting would be non-citizen voter fraud.
There is no evidence of this. Zero.
Non-citizens, no, they're not eligible to vote.
There is no reason to increase these restrictions on voting except to stop people who might not vote for them.
Matt Nair on air, moving soon to its new time. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on the Civic Media Radio Network. This is your local Civic Media radio station. Want to hear even more? Anytime? Find all of it at civicmedia.us. This is 97.9 WGBW Denmark, Green Bay's real news and great conversation, a Civic Media radio station.
ABC News, I'm Stephanie Officer. Pope Francis died today at 88. What happens next is steeped in hundreds of years of tradition. Details from ABC's Aaron Katursky.
Eventually, his body will be moved from his residence, where it was placed in a simple casket, to St. Peter's for lying in state. The public can pay respects, and we would expect tens of thousands of people from all over the world to come and pay tribute to Pope Francis.
Tariffs were the topic of today's meeting between President Trump and representatives from Walmart, Target, and Home Depot. Walmart called the meeting productive, while Home Depot called their meeting informative and constructive. Health Secretary RFK Jr. will announce a move to phase out the remaining 8 petroleum-based food dyes within 2 years. Tuesday's announcement will target artificial dyes used in cereal, ice cream, snacks, yogurts, and more. This is ABC News.
Local radio for you and your community. It's Civic Media's mission with stations across Wisconsin. Find your favorites at civicmedia.us.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. The NFL Draft 2025 is this week. Visitors will start arriving in Northeast Wisconsin in preparation for all of the festivities that officially start Thursday, April 24th. However, there are many activities planned throughout this week leading up. Lombardi Avenue from Military to Holmgren Way is now completely closed in both directions. Pedestrian traffic along the NFL Draft fence is still allowed. Information on road closures, parking, traffic patterns, shuttle services, and more is available on the NFL One Pass app. This week, hundreds of thousands of visitors will come to Northeast Wisconsin for the NFL Draft 2025. And while the main event is happening in the greater Green Bay area near Lambeau Field and Titletown, other parts of New Wisco, like the Fox Cities, are also involved.
So we were there from the get-go because they knew they needed, when you look at the size of a Detroit, what what the Fox City's become is a suburb. So they knew, we had the extra hotel rooms and the extra airlift, so the two airports could kind of work together and bring people in.
That's Pam Seidel, Executive Director of the Fox Cities Convention and Visitors Bureau. Seidel says there are plenty of hotel rooms, lots of things to do, and shuttle buses to and from the draft. Visit foxcities.org for information. The Village of Howard is asking for help from the public after two separate instances of dead dogs being found. A small elderly dog was found in a shoebox in Pamprin Park on April 13th. Two other dogs were found in the underbrush of the West Deerfield kayak launch. The village is asking anyone with information to contact Howard Animal Control Officer Matt Atkinson. I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.FM.
The Brewers clobber the A's. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Brewers had a season-high 16 hits on the way to a 14-1 win over the A's. Milwaukee stole 9 bases in the game, 6 of them in just 1 inning, both franchise records. The Brewers' Sal Frelick.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that every team and every catcher thinks that, like whether we're stealing or not, just being at first base or second base, the pitcher and catcher thinking about you is a success.
Manager Pat Murphy.
I think that's one of the ways we win. We win by collecting hits, taking walks, stealing bases, having the threat to steal, which gives you a better pitch to hit sometimes. That's one of the ways we can beat you.
The Crew in San Fran tonight against the Giants. NBA, Bucks getting ready for Game 2 tomorrow night after losing 117-98 Saturday to the Pacers.
I think we were late. We didn't have enough urgency. Going to Game 2, hopefully we can improve that, or we can change that. We'll see. But going to Game 2, we're going to be better.
That's Giannis Antetokounmpo. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
Your news, conversations, and a whole lot of fun. It's all on your local Civic Media radio station or the Civic Media app.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Increasing clouds tonight, some showers possible late, and lows in the mid-30s. For tomorrow, mostly cloudy, plenty of showers around, highs to the mid-50s. Another rain chance late Wednesday and Thursday. High temperatures climb to the upper 60s. Currently 49 degrees.
Mark your calendars for heart-pumping, exhilarating action at the 2025 Queen Marinette's Run the River Powerboat Races in Marinette, Wisconsin on June 7th and 8th. The action will be nonstop as these high-octane boats reach speeds of over 105 miles per hour. Races kick off on Saturday and Sunday at 12:30 p.m. and run throughout the day. Free for the whole family, this is the perfect summertime weekend getaway. For more information, head to fishonmarinette.com and click on the events page.
The Maggie Dawn Show.
And from Chippewa Falls.
What are Republicans voting for? If they're not voting for Medicare, Medicaid, clean energy, clean water.
Tax cuts for billionaires. You wouldn't get a lot of votes for that. So you have to create an enemy. And somebody says, blame all these people like women and immigrants and black and brown folks. Your brain will sometimes want to accept that because it's the easiest of off-ramps to all of the anxiety and existential fear that you've got.
The Maggie Dawn Show, moving soon to its new time, weekdays 4 until 6 on Civic Media and on the app. Jane Matnair and Greg Bach.
Coming up on the show, we talk all things Wisconsin and the news with Pat Kreitlow, host of Up North News Radio. Don't miss it.
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Night Light with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now, a guy who thinks outside the box and hates cliches, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome back to Nightlight, ladies and gentlemen, for hour number 2 here on this Monday edition. If there was ever a night that needs lighting, it is this gloomy Monday in our typically beautiful state of Wisconsin. Our question of the night is, what is your favorite serial killer movie? We've had some great suggestions and contributions so far, so please feel free to weigh in on that, whether you're on the text line at 855-752-4842, on the Civic Media app, which is very easy to use, or on the stream at Facebook, YouTube, or X Twitter. My guest right now is Kirsten Larson. She's the program director of the Milwaukee Film Festival, a phenomenal film festival. But Kirsten, my son just pointed out to me yesterday that I say the word phenomenal a lot, and now I'm very conscious of the fact that I'm saying it. But it is a perfect adjective, right, for your film festival?
Yeah, we are phenomenal, so it's appropriate.
There you go. The film festival this year takes place April 24th through May 8th. Do yourself a favor and go see one of the many offerings they have. About 200 is what Kirsten said last hour, and there are still tickets available for opening night. You have these great events too called happy hours. Can you tell people listening a little bit about what you guys do at your happy hour events?
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, this may come as no surprise, but we are Wisconsin, so there's drinking at the happy hours. But beyond that, we just get everybody loosened up to get to know each other. So we call them filmmaker happy hours because we really encourage our local filmmakers and the filmmaker guests to come out to those, but they are available for anyone to attend and just sort of talk about filmmaking or just the festival in general. And then you'll see for each of them, they have different hosts for them. So one I'm especially excited about is the Cartemquin Films Happy Hour. They're a very iconic Chicago documentary production company that has been responsible for films like Hoop Dreams, which is, known as one of the best documentaries of all time. So I'm so happy that we can have our family down in Chicago come visit us and, crack open a beer and talk movies.
That one sounds really cool. And they churn out more great documentaries. They're like a juggernaut in the documentary world. And, as you know, I'm a native Chicagoan too. We all love to come up to Wisconsin. I ended up making it my home. I liked it so much. So I'm sure you didn't have to twist any arms to get people from Chicago to come up to Wisconsin to talk about their really cool company.
Oh yeah, not at all.
Okay, so the other one you have, I thought this was interesting. You're talking to people from Action Wisconsin. This is a group that is trying to pass incentives for filmmakers here in Wisconsin to do rebates or tax breaks to alleviate the cost to filmmakers and attract business to Wisconsin. Does Milwaukee Film or the Milwaukee Film Festival support that one way or the other? Or are you just giving them a forum? I would imagine you guys would weigh in on the side of the filmmakers, but it can be a bit of a political issue. So I don't know if you're trying to sidestep that or where you guys stand on that.
Oh yeah, we obviously want filmmakers to have those incentives and opportunities to make films more easily in our great city and state. But yeah, we are not personally involved in making or fighting for those incentives. But yeah, having this kind of event where they can talk about the work they're doing, filmmakers can learn about that, is definitely the kind of conversation and promotional contribution that we're able to give.
That sounds like a great event. And if I lived closer, that's one I would definitely attend. I would love to hear what they have to say. I've had several people from Action Wisconsin on this show over the course of the last year, and I know that things are coming to a head there. So I actually wish them luck. I really hope they're able to get those passed. And speaking of that, while we're on that topic, Kirsten, how many films, not a specific number, but do you guys allot a certain amount of films every year to Wisconsin filmmakers or films that are shot in the state?
Not necessarily specifically Wisconsin. We have our Cream City Cinema program, which is all local filmmakers. So that's the 5 counties in the Milwaukee area. But yeah, obviously anytime a film has some sort of Wisconsin connection to it, we're going to pounce on that. But yeah, we always have the Cream City Cinema program, which has lots of local talent on display. I love it so much because similar to Sally, you get to see all of these films that are filmed here, or the actors are from here, or people behind the scenes got to work on it. And they just get to, have their films shown on an absolutely huge, gorgeous screen and have Q&As with all their friends and family. And they're so joyful and really what the festival is all about. So we always get our film submissions and we just sort of see what comes in every year. And then we just have the very, very hard work of whittling it down from that giant pile. And I don't know, we always know it's going to be great, but it's always so fascinating to see what's going to come through.
That's great. My guest is Kirsten Larson. She's the program director of the Milwaukee Film Festival, which takes place April 24th to May 8th. Get your tickets now, folks. There are still tickets available for opening night, which is always a fun event. We have just another minute or two here with Kirsten because I'm sure she has to get back to work. Kirsten, what if someone said to you, I can see 3 films this year, what would you tell them to see at this year's festival?
All right. So we always tell people to check out our Spotlight Presentations category, which is like the opening night film Sally and Desperately Seeking Susan. But 3 other films from that category, we have the silent 1920s film Nosferatu that will be playing with live musical accompaniment, which is always a very unique film experience that you can't have very often. And so being able to see that at the Oriental is going to be great. And especially with the new Nosferatu coming out, everybody has to check out what the original one was like. And there's no better way to do that than with the Anvil Orchestra playing alongside it. Then we also have a documentary called The Librarians, which is a political documentary like we were talking about, with librarians fighting against people trying to ban books. And so I'm really excited to see that one. And then we're also having a panel afterwards where the filmmakers will talk to librarians from Milwaukee and sort of see how these issues are relevant to our city specifically. And then the closing night film is called Jane Austen Wrecked My Life. And that is just a fun rom-com. It is both French and British, about a woman who goes to a Jane Austen writer's retreat and then, ends up sort of living out a Jane Austen kind of romance. So we always like to end the festival with a crowd pleaser that will send people off into the world having fun. So I'm excited for everybody to come together and watch that one.
I absolutely love that. The whole festival sounds fantastic. Keep up the great work there, Kirsten, and don't be a stranger. Please come back on and tell us how it's going. And I'm excited to talk to some of the people you've referred me to this week. So we'll see if we can help you put some butts in the seats, but not that you need the help, but break a leg this year and have a great time.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right. That's Kirsten Larson, the program director of the Milwaukee Film Festival. Conrad, did anything grab your attention there?
I mean, I really would like to see that the movie about the mall and the apartment in the mall. That's how. I don't know how that would be done, but it sounds awesome.
I'm so curious as to how they did it without being detected. Like I used to, when I first moved back to Wisconsin, it was so cold here. I would mall walk. My wife and I, sometimes I go with my mom. We would walk the mall. You go back and use the restroom, and there's all these like cavernous hallways, and like it just gives you this weird feeling like what's back there. Like that truly fascinates me, and that's probably the one I would want to see as well. So thanks to Kirsten Larson, and good luck to everyone at the Milwaukee Film Festival this year. Tim Sowers is coming up in just a few minutes, folks. He's going to tell us they just got their new lineup at the Overture Center in Madison, the beautiful Overture Center on State Street. Tim is the Chief Artistic Experiences Director, and he gets to pick the lineup. So we'll talk to Tim about what they're offering. And we've got, how are we doing on text? Am I caught up? No, I've got a new one here I need to get to. Our question of the night, folks, what is your favorite serial killer movie? And Kirsten's suggestions were great. I love them. But Barb from Waukesha, that's the 262. She says, Friday the 13th from 1980. Saw it at the drive-in theater. Oh, my gosh. Have you ever been to a drive-in theater, Conrad?
Yeah. I can't remember the last time I went, but I remember going to one. Couple.
They're pretty cool. I mean, they're just a different experience. And I think I've been there a handful of times, I guess, like when I was in high school, and seeing a film like Friday the 13th with a bunch of kids in cars, that's a special experience. So what should we go to a clip here before we take another quick break? What do we have, Con?
Well, I mean, last Friday, one of my I wouldn't say all-time favorite movie, but it's a good movie. It's funny. I really like it. Forgetting Sarah Marshall came out.
Oh yeah.
And it had a lot of actors in it that weren't fully their potential yet.
Okay.
I just think it's a hilarious movie.
Do we have time to do a quick clip before the break?
Yeah, just a quick clip.
Let's do it. You got to do some setup here.
He went to Hawaii to forget about a breakup, and this is the moment where he's trying to get off his mind. He went to the ocean, and surfing is what he wanted to do.
Okay, awesome.
How long you lived out here? Man, I don't know. I quit wearing a watch when I moved out here. Wow, that's so cool. Yeah. No, like my cell phone has a clock on it, so I don't really need it. Right, so it's basically the same thing. How old are you? I don't really believe in age or numbers. You know, I mean, if you had to put a number on it, I guess I'd be 40. Thanks for taking me out here. This is the first time I've felt good in 3 weeks or so. You need to get back on that board is what you need to do. Yeah? Hey, here's the deal. When life gives you lemons, just take the lemons and bail. Yeah, no, you said it. Totally. You got to just pull yourself up by your wetsuit, get back on that board. Hey, look, man, if you're attacked by a shark, are you going to give up surfing? Probably, yeah.
That's great. All right. When we come back, folks, after this very short break, don't go anywhere. We're having fun here. Tim Sowers joins us from the Overture Center in Madison. It's Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
You're listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home of Mino and the Mayor.
Hey, it's me, your liver. You know, the organ that helps you recover every weekend after pizza, donuts, and all those drinks. When you have a headache, you take an aspirin. You have a stomach ache, you pop an acid. But where's the love for your best buddy, the liver? The least that you could do to help me stay healthy is take Active Liver from New Nordic. Active Liver tablets contain high-quality, all-natural ingredients like milk thistle, globe artichoke, and turmeric extracts, which are proven to keep me healthy and you feeling your best. Active Liver provides an easy daily detox and helps protect me all year long. So let me make you an offer you can't refuse. You take care of me with Active Liver, and I keep taking care of you. Capiche?
See for yourself why Active Liver is Scandinavia's #1 liver health supplement. You can find Active Liver at CVS and online at Amazon or directly from NewNordicUSA.com. Again, find it in stores at CVS or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
I'm Dan Schaefer. Let's recombobulate. In recent months, Milwaukee health officials have uncovered significant lead hazards in city schools, mostly due to lead-based paint. Several schools have now been closed as the problem has been found to be more widespread. In late March, city officials formally requested help from the CDC, but in doing so, they learned that the CDC's entire lead program had been eliminated by Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. This is a major problem. Children in the state's largest city are being exposed to lead poisoning at their schools, and the Trump administration is not only refusing to provide assistance, they are eliminating the entire lead program that would help in cases like this one. Now, state and local officials must step up to do something for these kids, since Trump and RFK Jr. are gutting federal support. Milwaukee's children deserve better.
Find all of Dan's
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are lighting it up tonight, and it needs, this night in particular, it needs lighting. It is a gloomy day in Wisconsin. I think this is like one of the worst springs on record. It's just really sucked.
Yeah, it hasn't felt really like spring yet, has it?
No, it blows. I'm going to be honest. Forget about it. Glass half full Pete is gone. Brian checking in on the text line. He's in the 414. He says Hannibal Lecter film series and TV show. I have not seen either one of those. I don't think, unless he's talking about the Hannibal Lecters like from Silence of the Lambs. I said Manhunter. That's my favorite serial killer movie. Share yours, folks. Let us know on the text line, the app, or the stream, and we will read it on the radio. Right now, we've got a lot to get to still. We've got a lot of show left because our pal Tim Sowers, the Chief Artistic Experiences Director at the Overture Center, right there in Madison, just unveiled, I should say, a new lineup and some great shows coming up at the Overture Center. He joins us tonight here on Nightlight to talk about them. Tim, how are you?
I'm good. The sun just came out down
Awesome.
here. Because you're
time.
right. It was crap.
Brutal, man. The whole
Awful
I mean,
spring. Cold.
It's terrible.
I know it.
So let's we got to bring a little warmth here with your new agenda, I think. How you doing tonight, Tim?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm just getting over COVID, but other than that, I'm all right.
Oh wow.
I know it.
First time?
No, it's like third.
Okay. How does it affect you? Like, does it really kick your butt? Or are you one of those people?
Just my sinuses. It just hits my sinuses, and then it takes like 5 months to go away. Like that's it. It just hits my sinuses. Okay. But it's all right. It was weeks ago, but I'm still.
You sound like you. You must have gotten it right after you were on the show when you came into the studio in Madison. Because
I got it
4 or 5 weeks ago.
I got it like towards the end of March.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you sound great. It's good to have you.
Thank you.
Sound
Yeah.
top notch.
Yeah.
So you've got all these great shows coming in. Let's talk about, before we get to the new lineup or the new shows you've just announced, you've got 3 shows that people can still see in this current season. Are there tickets available for Clue, MJ
Yes.
the Musical, or Wicked?
All of them. Wicked tickets are getting scarce, but
Okay.
we had a huge on sale. We do subscriptions first, and then with Wicked we had a single ticket on sale, and we were like the 10th highest one day total since like 2014.
Oh my gosh.
So that's pretty good. People are excited to see it. It was perfect timing, right? With the movie coming out. And
Absolutely. We just drove by in Appleton the other day.
Yeah.
The Performing Arts Center there. I forget what they call it now, but MJ the Musical is either there or coming there. I know you guys have it coming up in June.
Yeah.
How is that show? I may have asked you this before,
it's actually very, there's so many biopic musicals out there, and this one's one of the better ones.
Okay.
Because it really focuses on his genius as an artist.
Right.
And the period of time is set when he's rehearsing his Dangerous tour. So they go back in time and look at him growing up and stuff, but they really just focus on him and his music and his creative genius, really. And I think it's a good way to do it. Right.
Yeah. So there is story element. There are story elements.
Yeah, there's story element. I mean,
Okay.
the story element to it is he's being interviewed by, I think, Rolling Stone magazine, and then he's, looking at his life and talking about his shows. But there's a number in there that has to be one of my favorite numbers from a Broadway musical, and it's a number with his 3 geniuses, and it's like Fred Astaire and Bob Fosse, and then I think it's the Walker Brothers from Vaudeville. I think that was their name. It's a very cool piece. So it's popular. It'll do really well. It's doing really well across the country in its tour. So that's really good.
Is it? Do they do Smooth Criminal in it?
I don't remember.
That's such a great song. Okay, so let's go to the new lineup. You guys just rolled this out, I think, last week.
Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just last week.
Right. So you have this caught my eye, and I think it sounds so fantastic. Back to the Future, the musical, March 10th through the 15th in 2026. What on earth? Tell us about that.
It's the movie on stage, really. They're pretty tried and true to the story of the movie. It has an original score, plus then some of the hit songs like The Power of Love. That's
great song. Part of
the movie. And there's a DeLorean and it flies.
On the stage.
Yep, we'll see. I mean, it did. I saw it on Broadway flying. Yeah, so people were that when we did a live event the other night, and that was one of the titles that people were most excited about. Back to the Future.
So, I mean, let me ask you this, because you have The Great Gatsby on this list too that I want to ask you about. But do you ever have shows? And I think I'm sure you wouldn't book them if they didn't work. But when they're not typically musicals and they write music for them, does it ever seem forced, or is it like? I'm sure the ones you book work, but do you ever watch one of those and go, this is sort of thrown together?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's hard. Like, that's the trend right now on Broadway is movies, and more movies being turned into musicals. And I like when they write an original score for that. Sometimes it's a jukebox and it's somebody's music. That's just kind of put in there. That's what Mamma Mia is all about, right? It's
right.
They create this plot and put in all the ABBA music, but I like it when it's original.
I'm with you, and that's why and like The Outsiders too. I haven't seen that either, but I'm like, how do they do that? Like,
one of the best in years.
That's what you said last time.
It's just a powerful, beautiful show. I love it.
I noticed that was not on your list, though. Maybe they're just not ready to send it out
next year.
But...
No, it's going out next year for the first time.
Okay.
But usually with a title like that, it'll probably play longer dates in the major cities.
All right. Tim Sowers is here. We're getting the lowdown on the lineup at the Overture Center in the new season, which comes up. We'll have more with Tim after a very short news break here. It's Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Makes her work. I guess I'll leave that question to the experts. Assuming that there are some out there, they're probably alone, solitaire. I can remember when I caught up with a pastime intimate friend. She said, but you're probably gonna say I look lovely, but you probably don't think nothing of me. She was right though, I can't lie. She's just one of those corners of my mind, and I just put it right back.
From Denmark to De Pere, this is 97.9 WGBW. You can always continue the conversation on social media. Share your thoughts when you find and follow Civic Media on Facebook, X, and Instagram.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. You may have heard the story of Tom France. He's a Neenah native who was told by the Department of Homeland Security that he had to leave the United States. The problem is, France is a natural-born U.S. citizen. The DHS has said it made a mistake and apologized profusely. However, news outlets are reporting similar emails being sent to American citizens across the country, an action that U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin is calling illegal and is demanding the Trump administration put a stop to it. In case you missed it, late last week, the Wisconsin Supreme Court ruled that the Democratic governor legally used the state's uniquely powerful veto to lock in a school funding increase for 400 years. The split ruling from the liberal-controlled court on Friday affirms the partial veto power of Wisconsin governors. Governor Tony Evers took an increase for the 2023-24 and 2024-25 school years and vetoed the 20 in the hyphen to make the end date 24-25. The justices said governors are allowed to strike digits or create longer durations than what the legislature approved. Wisconsin researchers are sounding the alarm over the Trump administration's proposed cuts to funding for the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Experts say the proposed cuts could lead to the elimination of all funding for climate, water, and ocean research, including the programs that forecast severe weather. The funding cuts could also jeopardize research used to monitor weather, wind, and water conditions on the Great Lakes. That research is used to provide residents with safety information on things like rip currents or algae blooms. I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.FM.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. The new Star Wars film officially has a title, and it's called Star Wars Starfighter. The film's lead actor will be Ryan Gosling, and it will be directed by Sean Levy, whose previous credits include, well, pretty much everything. Levy has directed the recent smash Deadpool and Wolverine, all three Night at the Museum films, and executive produced Stranger Things. Gosling's last big film was The Fall Guy, so I'm sure he's eager to wash that taste out of his mouth. Star Wars Starfighter hits theaters May 28th of 2027. There is something about podcasts that seems to help celebrities open up. Emilio Estevez recently appeared on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast. Host Josh Horowitz asked The Outsider's actor what the worst note he ever got from a director was. Estevez says on the set of St. Elmo's Fire, director Joel Schumacher screamed at the top of his lungs, "Have a good bleeping time." Estevez says Schumacher was a bully and wildly insecure. He also made a very mediocre Batman movie. For more showbiz fun, tune into Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Enjoying this local program? Find the complete Civic Media lineup at civicmedia.us or the Civic Media app.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Increasing clouds tonight, some showers possible late, and lows in the mid-30s. For tomorrow, mostly cloudy, plenty of showers around, highs to the mid-50s. Another rain chance late Wednesday and Thursday. High temperatures climb to the upper 60s. Currently 49 degrees.
The Todd Albaugh Show.
More than 600 international students and recent grads have had their visas revoked. Here's people that are here 100% legally. We've seen the ICE checklist. Do you wear a Chicago Bulls hoodie? Do you have a tattoo? Check, check, gone. Again, this is about due process and following the Constitution. And if we don't have that, then none of us are safe.
The Todd Albaugh Show. Moving soon to its new time. Weekdays 2 to 4 on Civic Media and on the app. Amicus, a law review with Jim Santel.
Ross calling in.
Thanks for your show. I'm just wondering if we're watching or witnessing a legal system where what we thought was precedent is now going to be sort of cast away.
The reality is the question that you raise about the future and what are the implications when in fact the things we understood always to be bedrocks of our community, of our nation, are no longer that.
Amicus, a law review, Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. Todd Albaugh.
Hey, everybody, join us next time for a special Earth Day edition.
Oh, don't you dare look back, just keep your eyes on me. I said you're holding back. She said, shut up and dance with me. This woman is my destiny.
Welcome back to Nightlight. I'm Pete Schwaba. Great to have you with me on this Monday as we kick off our fourth quarter here tonight. Our question of the night, there's still time if you want to get in on the fun, is what is your favorite serial killer movie? I said Manhunter. Conrad said Scream. Tyler from Wisconsin Rapids says Christina Ricci plays Naughty in her portrayal of Lizzie Borden, the miniseries, killing more than Ma and Pa, ruthless. Kind of forgot about that one too. Thank you, Tyler. Brian from Milwaukee says, yes, I'm talking about Manhunter, Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal, Red Dragon, and Hannibal Rising, the films, and the NBC series Hannibal. Okay, I thought that's what you meant. Thank you for clarifying that, Brian. Yeah, it was pretty hard to argue with Hannibal Lecter stuff. I still say Brian Cox, the best Hannibal Lecter in Manhunter. Not as much camera time as Anthony. Who am I trying to think of, Conrad? Who plays Anthony? What's that? Anthony Davis. I'm totally blanking. He won the Oscar for. Hey, Tim, do you know who played? Who am I thinking of?
Too.
Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal Lecter. For some reason,
oh my God, I can see him.
Anthony Davis in my head.
No, is it Anthony? Is that right?
Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins.
Oh yeah, Hopkins.
All right.
There you go. Shoo.
I get that all the time. Like people think and he was great. He's a phenomenal actor. Slightly over the top, in my opinion, in that film. Do you have a favorite serial killer movie, Tim?
I do.
Please.
And
share.
it just came to. I just read an article about it just a couple days ago. American Psycho.
Oh, you're the second person that said that tonight.
Really?
I have not seen that in years, and I think I saw it like sporadically. I gotta see that.
Yeah, and here's one reason I love it. They made a musical out of it.
I think I knew that too.
It was a bomb in the States, and I saw it, and I loved it. I thought it was cool and chilling, and I think it was ahead of its time.
Maybe.
When they did it in London. The original was in London with Matt Smith. So, American Psycho.
That's interesting. All right, great choice.
Mm-hmm.
You're You're joining the club of America. I think you're actually the third American Psycho. So that might be our front runner. But we've had a lot of
Serial Mom. Serial Mom.
Oh, who is
Do you
that?
remember Serial Mom with Kathleen Turner?
Oh my God, yeah. Was that a serious movie? Was that a serious movie about a serial
No,
killer?
it was a comedy series.
That's
She
what
was
I
a
thought.
serial killer comedy. That was pretty fun.
Not opposed to that. That's great.
I know, right?
All right, so here's another show I have not seen yet. I hear it's absolutely hilarious. You guys have added this for next October. The Book of Mormon.
Oh my gosh, The Book of Mormon is probably one of the best musicals ever written.
It
is so wrong and so right at the same time. And really, it's a perfect little musical. It satires everybody. You have a love story in it. The score is stunning. And it's been running on Broadway forever. I'm going to say maybe 15 years, maybe.
That sounds about right. I haven't seen it yet. I have to.
It's so fun. It's so fun.
I need to live like across the street from the Overture Center or the PAC in Appleton. When you live on the edge of the universe like I do, it's tough to get to these shows, and I feel very left out, Tim. I'm going to be honest.
Well, our state is fortunate to have great centers all over. Fox Cities is great, and they get a great Broadway series, and I know it, right?
Absolutely. How about, here's a classic that will play November 11th through the 16th of this year. Some Like It Hot.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
It's good. It's a original score. It's jazz. It's based on the Jack Lemmon, Tony Curtis movie. They've updated it a little bit to give it more of a modern sensibility to it, even though it's still period. Great score. It's great.
That's what was that a musical when it first came out? It wasn't, right?
No, it was that movie. That wasn't a movie. Well, there's music in it, right?
Right.
I think.
Okay.
I haven't seen it in forever.
Yeah, I haven't either. I remember watching it as a kid, then here, this is huge news, and I'm not surprised. Hamilton is coming back, and we'll kick off 2026 at the Overture Center.
Yeah,
that's exciting. How many is this? Like the third time through for Hamilton?
Third time for us. Yeah.
Wow.
It's another show. It's going to continue to run for a long time.
Yeah.
People love it.
Where does that rank? If I could get personal here, Tim, I'm not trying to make you cry or anything. I don't like to get too much into people's past, but Hamilton, where does that rank? Is that up there for you on the top of, like, you've seen everything? Where do you rank Hamilton?
It's up there, but it's not like super up there. I would say it was probably in my top 10.
Okay. I saw that in Milwaukee, and I liked it. It's fun. The energy is great, but I wanted more music. Like the lyrics and all that were great, but I don't know. I feel like I should like it more.
I hear you.
Thank you for not judging me.
I'm not judging you at all.
Okay, so that kicks off 2026. That's pretty cool. One of the biggest musicals. Last I don't know how many years.
Yeah.
And then you've got, this is interesting. I was reading about this today. Water for Elephants makes its Wisconsin debut in June of next year.
Right.
What is that show?
Well, it's based on that big popular book, and there was a movie with Reese Witherspoon. It takes place about this man who finds love in this traveling circus. And so the show's visuals they have aerialists in it. They do a lot of circus acts in it. So it kind of has a cool little vibe to it with the spectacle with it as well.
Oh, that's cool.
It's all original music.
Oh, nice. Was the movie a musical?
No.
Okay.
No, and I'm trying to think who wrote the music to Water for Elephants. It's like a country group or a Pigpen. A theater company wrote it. So it kind of has a folk. It kind of has a folk Broadway feel to it. Yeah.
This movie just completely went under my radar. It's Reese Witherspoon, Robert Pattinson. Christopher Walt. Yeah, I have not seen this. That's
It wasn't
okay.
super great.
Yeah.
Compared to the novel. The novel was huge when it was out, Water for Elephants.
Okay. Here's the one I'm the most excited to ask you about. It's one of my favorite books of all time, The Great Gatsby.
Gorgeous.
How so?
It's
Is
probably
it
one
the-
of the most. It's probably one of my favorite shows I've seen in the last couple years.
Nice.
It is the visuals. It is an old-fashioned musical spectacle. The visuals are so stunning. When I saw it on Broadway, I kept gasping at it.
Oh, nice.
Because they were doing stuff that was crazy amazing. And it's a, great classic story, jazz score. I loved it. It's still running on Broadway, so still doing good. And that got a popular response the other night too.
And another one, again, that like this is kind of a theme here in our discussion tonight, but that was not a musical, just a phenomenal story. And but I read something you wrote about it, or you were interviewed, and you said the music is outstanding.
You mean Great Gatsby? Outstanding. Yeah. It's great. And on Broadway, it starred Jeremy Jordan, who's probably one of the best voices in today's musical theater. And
that's cool.
Really good.
Well, the lineup sounds amazing. It's exciting. Tim Sowers is here. He's the Chief Artistic Experiences Director at the Overture Center in Madison. He does great work there. Their list of shows they put on at all of their theaters are outstanding. Tim, tell us a little bit about the Overture Presents. That's a different series.
So we have the non-Broadway shows, which I think there's 30 some, and there will be more we add all the time. So they're all on sale right now for subscription, and you can purchase 3 of them and save 10%, or the more you purchase, the more you save. And the only way you can get the tickets right now is all through subscription. Okay. Single tickets will go on sale in the summer. And do you want to know what the biggest highlight was for that at People the other night? The Naked Magicians.
Oh, I saw that. I mean, it grabbed my eye just because of the title. But
They're hilarious. We had them, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago, and they're from Australia, and they're great magicians, and their gimmick is they get naked on stage, but you never really see anything. Given where they place things, it's like right. It's pretty fun. They're pretty fun. So I was glad to see they were back around again.
That's hilarious. So you offered that with the Overture Presents series, as well as music or the story of Simon and Garfunkel, and an evening with David Sedaris, which sounds cool too.
Yeah, David Sedaris. We bring him. He's here every other year. He's probably one of the nicest people I ever met.
I've heard that.
Yeah, he sits out in the lobby before the show and signs books and autographs and stuff. And then he goes and does his show. And then after the show, he does the same thing. And he's in that lobby until everybody's gone.
That is really impressive.
It is impressive. One of the reasons he loves doing it is he gets stories from these people.
Just by talking
to them, he gets stories from them. And he's an incredible guy. He sells really well. He's very popular.
The other thing you guys have is you're hoping anyway, for the next year to have a full-on Fringe festival.
Yeah. In Edinburgh, there's a real big Fringe festival that I go to in the summer. It's 3,000 shows, right? When I go for like 10 days and see 40 and feel like I've seen nothing, right? And it's all these kind of quirky, fun shows and Cirque. And so last year we did, I had like 4 or 5 shows. I put them on a weekend to see what people would think about that kind of a show. And it did really well. So this year we're doing a full festival where it's in I'm in 4 venues, I think, with shows, and then we're going to turn the lobby into a big hub with food and drink and live entertainment, so people can hang out and go see all the different shows.
That sounds like,
and that's where the Naked Magicians, they're part of that festival.
Oh, yeah. Wow, they're part of the Fringe.
Yep.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's where they were discovered. They were discovered at Edinburgh at the Fringe Festival.
When they were discovered, were they naked or were they wearing clothes then and then added the
Well,
gimmick later?
I think it was the same idea. That's the other thing. That's the other thing at the Fringe is cool because it's like, during the mornings there's shows for families and kids, and then the later you get into the day, the bawdier the shows become.
But it'd be good to see that transformation over the course of the day.
Yeah.
Tim, what are you? Thank you again for your time as always. Love hearing what's
yeah.
going on at the
Yeah.
Overture. But what are you watching? You got anything? You always seem like you're watching really cool stuff.
I started that new John Hamm.
Oh yeah, how is that?
I watched the first episode last night, and I was like, I'll give it a second episode and see what I think.
Okay.
And then Hacks came back, so I'm a fan of Hacks with Gene Smart and HBO. I've seen all those so far. That's a good show.
Have you done Pitt?
No, I don't tend to watch medical.
I don't either, but someone was saying, oh, it's so hyper intense. And I always feel like it's really like the drama in these medical shows is so manufactured. I mean, I'm sure there's drama because of the nature of the job, but
yeah,
I watched the first episode and I'm like, didn't do it for me.
The only medical show I liked was oh my God, what was it was Laurie Metcalf and
love her.
Getting On. Have you ever seen that?
Oh no.
It's based on a British show. It was on for a few seasons. And it's all about these people that work in the death and dying ward. And it's a comedy, a dark comedy. It is.
Hey,
so
Tim, can you hold
funny.
that thought for
Yep.
1 second? I'll let you finish that on the other side of this really short break. Tim Sowers is going to finish his thought. We're talking TV, and we just had a great talk about Broadway musicals. We'll be right back on Nightlight with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
This is the talk of Green Bay, WGBW. The Todd Albaugh Show.
More than 600 international students and recent grads have had their visas revoked. Here's people that are here 100% legally. We've seen the ICE checklist. Do you wear a Chicago Bulls hoodie? Do you have a tattoo? Check, gone. Again, this is about due process and following the Constitution. And if we don't have that, then none of us are safe.
The Todd Albaugh Show, moving soon to its new time, weekdays 2 to 4 on Civic Media and on the app. Reviewing the week's legal news with a friend of the court.
Well, I'm looking forward to Saturday morning. I haven't missed one. Outstanding. Just like being in school.
It has been a week in the areas of law and government and the aspiration for justice in America. As always, I am delighted. I am honored that you have chosen to spend some of your weekend time with me in discussion.
Amicus, a law review with Jim Santel. Saturday mornings from 9 to 11.
Farm Rescue makes sure that you aren't alone. They're there to extend the hand and to take the burden.
Even the most independent farmers need help sometimes, and asking for that help is protecting the future. Farm Rescue provides equipment and volunteers free of charge to assist in times of crisis. We're currently accepting applications for planting and haying assistance. If you or someone you know could use our help, call 701-252-2017 or visit farmrescue.org.
Out here in the middle of these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on earth. That's how it feels when you're struggling with your mental health. But you don't have to feel alone. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
You are never far away from your favorite radio station. We're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app. And if you missed your favorite show or game, listen to a podcast.
welcome back, folks. We are about to close things down here on a Monday night edition of Nightlight. Barb from Waukesha, that's the 262. She says, the Donald loves Hannibal Lecter. Yeah, I'll take your word for that, Barb. I think you're right about that. We have just another minute or two here with our pal Tim Sowers. Tim, I'm sorry I had to cut you off. We have a computer that just kind of takes over, so you get caught off if I can't. Yeah. But you were saying I'd love for you to finish that.
Getting On. It's dark comedy. It was on HBO, and it was about these quirky people working in this geriatric ward, and Niecy Nash, who is one of her best. I love her. She's one of my favorite. And Alex Borstein from Mrs. Maisel, she was on it. June Squibb, if you remember, June Squibb, the older act. I mean, it was a great cast with Laurie Metcalf and.
Laurie Metcalf is one of my all-time favorite comedic actresses. She's so funny.
She is so funny, and she's great on stage too. I've seen her a couple times on stage, nice. And she's just great.
All right, well, that's a good Getting On. I'll have to make a note of that. Well, let's do this again soon, my friend. As always,
anytime.
So much fun having you, and good luck with the new lineup. It sounds fantastic, and
thank you.
One of these days I'll bump into you over there.
Okay.
All right. Have a great night, Tim. Thanks so much. All right. That's Tim Sowers. Check out the Overture Center. I think it's just overturecenter.org. They have a great lineup, all new shows coming out in 2026. And a few you can catch still on this current roster. I think it was the Michael Jackson MJ and what else is it? Clue. And then there was one other one. It wasn't Hamilton. Oh, Wicked. Yeah. So they still have tickets for all three of those two in this current go round. Brian was on it too, Conrad. Brian from Milwaukee texted in, I think even before we Googled it, he said Anthony Hopkins. For whatever reason, there's so many Anthonys, I can never remember his last name.
Yeah, I don't think Anthony Davis starred in that.
He would have been terrible.
He would have got injured 5 seconds into the role.
Right. But interestingly enough, Anthony Hopkins can post just about anybody up. I mean, he's only like 5'8", and he's an actor. You'd be surprised. He's got some hops, though.
Hey.
So
take your word for that.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I did not get to see this weekend. I really want to see Drop. That's supposed to be excellent. And the other thing I want to see is Sinners, this Michael B. Jordan film, the Ryan Coogler movie. Crushed at the box office, about a 98%, I think, on Rotten Tomatoes. And I was unable to get to the theater to see either one of those because it was Easter and everything was closed. How do you like that?
Have you heard about the some people are pirating the Minecraft movie?
God, really, of all the movies seriously?
The funny thing about that though is that the pirated version is not fully CGI'd. It's like halfway. So like some of the moments, I've seen this on TikTok, you can see like people falling, but the lines they're attached to like in the movie.
Wait, I'm having trouble following that. So
so it's like pre-production kind of thing. It's like it's not fully CGI'd yet.
Okay.
It's not complete. They somehow got that version and put it online. And during this, you can see like the lines, the harnesses people are on, like when they're up high or something, or like the CGI just doesn't look good. Like you can see Jack Black's hand going through the dog that he's trying to pet when he's like going through. So it's like they don't get to see the full experience actually pirating that movie.
That kind of serves them right if they're pirates.
Right?
Yeah. I still haven't seen it. I don't know that I will, but I am curious. I will admit, for curiosity's sake, I do want to see it.
Well, don't see the pirated version.
No, it sounds like I can't really with any kind of accuracy. Hey, our buddy Matt Harper posted on Facebook a picture of, I don't know if you follow him, but it says on this day in 2018, what was left of the Bradley Center looking out from Game 3. So I guess that means they would be looking across the street, and it's right. You can see the Hyatt in the background. We were just talking about Milwaukee earlier, but it looks like a baseball field. Like it's outside, the roof is gone, and it is such a cool and melancholic photo. I love when people post stuff like this.
I'm looking at it right now.
Are you?
It looks older than 2018.
It does. It looks like everything has been stripped off of it, like the paint, the stands. Like, I would love to know what stands those are. Like, is that the second row or the second section or whatever? Or
yeah, I mean,
there was floor level.
I remember going to the Bradley Center, and it was definitely a cool stadium.
Yeah.
I don't think it was as bad as people said it was, or why they needed to make. I mean, they made a new one because I feel like they did need to, but at the same time, it was a cool stadium.
But why did the Bradley Center went up? I think around the same time the United Center went up in Chicago, and the United Center is still fully functioning. I don't know where it weighs or where it ranks on the list of great stadiums, but did they make a mistake with was it outdated when they built it? I don't get why they had to tear that down so fast.
Yeah, I feel like it was outdated, but I feel like the main thing is the new partner with the Pfizer Forum. But I feel like the United Center is such a staple in Chicago that it's hard to just rip it down.
Hockey too, maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they got Marquette basketball there too now, and they still have the Admirals playing at Pfizer as well. So,
yeah, that's true. Thank you for posting that, Matt. You gave us something to talk about here in the closing moments of our Monday night edition of Night Light. Got great shows all week, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow night on the show, Laura Kesman will be here. She made a documentary called Cycle, and I believe she shot it in Racine. She'll tell us all about this documentary that you can see at the Milwaukee Film Festival. And then our pal, wrestling announcer, Civic Media Zone, Rich Locasio joins us. Locasio. Conrad, I blame you for this.
Sorry.
We'll Google it. We know Rich. Just like our brother. He's going to give us all the information we need from WrestleMania over the weekend. There was a lot of stuff going on. Always fun to talk wrestling with Rich and independent film. All right, we're out of here, folks. Good night, Wisconsin.